was about 10 years old when I became curious about something school never taught me. I started reading about my country's past presidents and military rulers. It was 2019, just before the COVID-19 pandemic. I started watching documentaries about geopolitics, history, war, finance, and the rise and fall of empires. I was just 15. I kept watching even though I barely have access to a phone. But something wouldn't let me stop. I asked myself a question. Where were these people finding all this information? How were they able to turn all that complex idea into something clear and fascinating? At first, I thought maybe I was too young. Then I realized it wasn't about my age. It was because no one has ever taught me. The more I watch those documentaries,
all part of something revolutionary.
the more I learn new things.
A war between Ukraine and Russia.
I realize how easy it is to miss things shaping our world and the events that shaped it before we get here. I realize most people were not being told those stories in a way that makes sense.
The big ship is not stuck anymore,
So I decided to explain what I've spent years learning.
which is kind of cool. There was this
2025, I'm just 21 years old. What started with a few people willing to learn became an academy.
Spread across thousands of computers around the world.
Academy I started with no money, connections, or followers. The week the academy was created, its account got banned. Everything disappeared that week. But
Lucky, learn a skill, be good at something.
I rebuilt it back again.
Maybe a community manager, a moderator.
A few weeks later, more than 250 people had gone through the academy. But the gap I noticed back in 2019 was still there. My vision had simply become bigger than one classroom could fill. A classroom can reach hundreds or maybe thousands, but a documentary can reach the world. Since 2019, every documentary I've watched
I saw people lose their life, their houses.
has shaped the way I see the world.
He had no idea what sort of movement he was about to begin.
That's why I knew I want to make documentaries too. But beneath every headline is a story most people have never heard. The decision that creates wealth, the scams that fool millions, the people whose choices quietly reshape the world. Those are the stories I want to tell you. My first documentary began with a question. How does someone go from selling a company for hundreds of millions of dollars to borrowing money from friends just to survive? And how did that same person later became the richest person alive? There were moments I wondered if any of it would continue. Then I remembered the 15-year-old me with VNA phone. I did not know where those questions would lead me, but I knew I couldn't stop asking. Because there is more to the world that most people get to see. I'll show it to you. My name is Oyelude Waliullahi. My first story begins soon.